think I had the high score. So.
Lasting. Bobbing. Twisting. Pulling. Pulling. Twisting.
I don't know my own strength.
Passing.
I was this team.
Pulling. Bobbing. Pulling.
I'll just skate.
Oh, you're out.
Hi guys,
Welcome to Start.
welcome back to my channel. Well, I guess not guys.
Ladies too.
Hey girls.
Hey.
Welcome back to my channel. Well, actually no, because guys watch this too. Hey y'all.
Hi all humans.
Hi humans. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Siobhan. I'm the founder of Fearfully Wonderfully Made. And today I have my friend
Elizabeth. Oh, sorry, my introduction. Elizabeth, founder of Horology 101.
Yes, and today we just wanted to kind of talk about like singleness. Ooh, why did we say it like
Because
that?
it was both on our minds.
We said it like it was dreadful though.
I know. Because I feel like that's almost this cloud that's around us when we talk about being single. Either we put it on ourselves or the world gives it to us.
Oh, that's an interesting point. So I'm not joyful? A joyful single?
I mean, you are a joyful single, but I feel like it's almost one or the other, where if we're joyful being single, someone comes by and they are like, oh yeah, so I can see you're still single, or checking your ring, or asking if you finally found somebody.
That happened to me the first time this year. I always prided my family for not doing that. And this year, during Christmas, my grandpa grabs my ring hand. He looks at my finger. He throws my hand down and shakes his head and walks off. And I'm like, what is that about? So I guess it's starting to happen. Like, we're at that age where they're wondering, like, where your man at?
When's it gonna happen?
Where's babies? When's the wedding? And I can be like, I don't know. You selling them? You got them?
We got good careers though. I mean, does that
So,
matter?
I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we're doing what we love, but it's like something missing.
There is.
Like, so tell me, like, how has your waiting period been for you as a single woman, mid-20s?
It's definitely up and down. I feel like there are definitely times where if I'm traveling or I'm really into my career or just spending time with family and friends and healthy relationships are going on and I'm just busy, it's something where I feel like I don't meditate on it a whole lot. But then of course, holidays come around, cuffing season is in full swing.
Cuffing season, there's so much pressure.
So much pressure.
For cuffing season. It's so funny because when we were younger in high school, cuffing season was a thing. And then when we got older, I thought it was just something like childish. I thought it was still like high school talk. Mm-hmm. And the fact that people still talk about cuffing season, I'm like, oh wait, that's still a thing? Like, we're adults now.
And it's still in full swing.
Look, it's not a thing for me because I don't have seasons when I cuff. It's either you is or you
all
ain't.
year. It's all year round.
It's all or nothing. Like, forget cuffing season. But I can say the same for me with the wait. Waiting is hella hard. It's hard, but like you said, keeping busy helps me. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of prayer. You know, I pray about being content. And it comes in waves, but it is hard. But I think keeping busy, being in community, doing a lot of things that I love to do, work and school kind of keep me busy anyway.
And these excellent blogs, right?
Vlogs or blogs?
Blogs.
Oh, like video blog. I don't vlog. Y'all want me to vlog? If you want me to vlog, comment down below. Let me know if you want me to vlog, because I really don't think my life is that interesting. Like, I feel like on the weekends it's pretty interesting, but during the week I do the same thing. I'm at work, I'm in the gym.
The in-between times when you're driving, you could talk to the people.
Look, y'all ain't ready for my trap. Because my trap is a different kind of trap. Y'all ain't ready for my trap music. I'm just kidding, I'm saved. But like, I don't know, I guess we already kind of touched on like how it's hard to wait. Do you ever feel like it's periods of like loneliness for you? Because it's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Mm-hmm. I will say that. I feel like being alone is like you don't have anybody, like friendships, family. You probably have family, but friendships, and you're just alone. But lonely is just like kind of like a longing. So I did want to differentiate that. Do you agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Because like I talked about, when we're in our high periods, our best single self, when we're busy, of course we're around a lot of different people, and so we don't we can't say that we are alone, but definitely you could be around a whole bunch of people and still just be like, you know what, I wish I had a little boo thing.
So you can, so it sounds like you're saying you can still be around still be around a lot of people and still feel alone. And that's what kind of lonely is.
Yeah.
You're around a lot of people, but you still feel alone, and that's what lonely.
Right.
Do you have periods of loneliness or like bouts of loneliness? Or did you just answer that?
Well, I mean, in other ways, I feel like with loneliness, it could just be, you know, my introverted side of myself. It's like I don't necessarily want to go out and do anything. But it would just be nice to just have that extra person that you would say like, oh, we could just hang out for the weekend or hang out for that evening or whatever. But you don't necessarily feel like being around a whole bunch of people. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes just being around testosterone.
That's an interesting point. I feel like I have my lonely periods too. Like I do a lot of, I'm one of those people, where I don't wait to experience things until I get a boyfriend. I'm not one of those people like, I don't want to do this until I get a man. I do those things with my friends, but I will say after so many times of like, okay, let's go out to the movies, let's go out to eat, or let's go skydive, or let's travel, and I'm kind of sitting there like, okay, I'm tired of traveling with you. I'm tired of seeing you.
Hey, we just went somewhere.
And we about to go somewhere again next month. But anyways, I love traveling with my friends, but sometimes I have to separate the two, and I'm like, man, I wish I had a dude to do this with. But regardless, I am very grateful to have people to travel with. But I think
there's a difference. There's a difference between a girl's weekend and a bae weekend. Yeah. So
like, have you had any of your family members pressure you about marriage? Because I know we come from two different cultures. You were raised in a Nigerian household, and I was raised in an American household, even though I found out I was 34% Nigerian.
It's my cousin, y'all.
Hey! But being raised in two different backgrounds, like, how do you feel like marriage is weighted, and have you felt that pressure?
Thankfully not as much from my family. I definitely noticed a slight switch when I got to college, and now all of a sudden I could start dating. But thankfully they haven't put a lot of pressure in terms of making me feel as if because I'm not married, I'm like behind. But at the same time, I can definitely tell that there are just kind of hidden ways that I can see that they wish that they could be maybe grandparents, or would just want to know that I'm not alone. Mm-hmm. And that I won't be alone forever, which sounds really scary. But I think sometimes there is some of that wondering, like, I hope that she finds someone.
So i.e., give me an example of, like, you said some of that hidden, I want to be a grandparent. Like, what kind of things do they...
Now, all of a sudden, more so asking, you know, so is there anyone that I'm interested in? Or why didn't you date some random guy they maybe saw me with that one time?
From 10 years ago.
Right.
Because he was an abuser and didn't know that. That's why I'm not dating him. Do you want me to get back with him?
Because it was toxic. But yeah, I think so much more of the questions of, not direct questions of why aren't you married, but have you found someone, or is there someone that you're interested in?
Yeah.
More initiated prayers when we're together of, Lord, please let her find someone that can treat her well. But again, they're not directly asking, but they have a prayer circle around my single life.
That is bold, like prayers. Because my parents, I think they silently pray for me. And every now and then my mom will say, you know, I'm still praying for your husband. And when he sends you that man, it's going to be amazing. And I'm just like, yeah, Mom, I know. But I never felt that pressure either. It's really just, oh, I can't wait to be a grandma. Or you're going to be the best mother. They probably see, like, my domesticated skills in terms of like cooking or cleaning or just being responsible. And my mom would throw out like, you're going to be a good mother. And I'm like, girl, you done jumped from 5 to 20. How you know I want to be a mom? No, I'm just kidding, because I do. But yeah, they never just said like, when you get married and where's he at? It's just like trusting God and his timing and knowing that I will get married. I guess they have more faith than me sometimes. I feel like sometimes they have more faith than me, because sometimes, you know, my hope dwindles a little bit, but my parents, well, more so my mom. My dad is real chill. He really don't bring it up. But my mom is just like, oh, you're going to be a great wife. And she says that, and it kind of gives me hope. Like, okay, he's silently praying for me even when I don't pray for myself.
Right.
But at the end of the day, singleness is beautiful.
It is.
Marriage is beautiful. The two are not better than the other, because I know in the Bible it talks about how it's a gift to be single and it's a gift to be married, but they're just two different things, but they're still ministry. So at the end of the day, maximizing
on both lives,
yeah,
types of lifestyles,
our singleness.
Love. Oh, rom-coms, romantic comedy.
Hold on, rom-coms?
They call it that, rom-coms.
Where are you from? Romantic comedies? Like, what's a romantic comedy? Like, This Christmas with Chris Brown?
This Christmas.
That movie is so dated.
The one with Kevin Hart. Steve Harvey, How to Find a...
Oh, Think Like a Man?
Yes.
Oh, that is a romantic comedy. Okay, so what are your thoughts on romantic movies? I'm a sucker for love. I love love. And I'm a hopeful romantic. I don't like to say hopeless because I have hope. I'm a hopeful romantic.
As long as it's seemingly realistic. If it's like the Tyler Perry movies where, you know, someone gets found in the middle of like some messy situation and he so happens to have abs, this wonderful full-time job with benefits, and he's like 35 but still somehow single, no kids, and then he found this woman that's like all messed up and then he fixes her. No. But if it's like one where it's really realistic, and now I'm trying to think off the top of my head one that I really, really liked. But I will say Nappily Ever After, I felt like their relationship, I did like the way that they played that out.
Yeah, it was real organic. And
it didn't end in this like happy ever after type of ending where, you know, she gets to have both ends. It's like, that's sometimes, you know, relationships.
But it's like a friendship that occurred, if anything.
Right.
That's interesting though. So are you saying that that can't happen? Like, you, not saying that you will ever be a damsel in distress or a fixer-upper, because you ain't that type of chick, but I'm saying like this guy comes and he's perfect gentleman with one ab. We ain't gonna give him two, but maybe one ab.
1.5.
Okay, a 3-pack.
That way
he has a 3-pack. You say that that can't happen? Like, that's unrealistic?
I think...
Who sent you? That's what you're gonna be asking?
Yes.
Where you come from?
No.
Why are you so perfect?
I will say, I think that in that situation, I just don't... I think that it could happen where a guy that is right for you. Now, I think it just depends on this perspective. I think that I may not care too much about the abs, but I might like that, okay, it's a guy who has his stuff together and is hustling and is working hard and loves Jesus. So I think that's realistic. I think it's more so in those movies, it's across the board, like there's nothing wrong with this man. And he just so happened to just be waiting just in somebody's family reunion until it was time for him to show up.
Do you think those kind of movies kind of give like false hope?
False hope, but almost like, almost in the waiting time, it's nice to have that. It's still hope. No, it may seem like false hope. It's still nice to just have that reminder that, like, yeah, I can set that as a standard, that I want a guy who can, you know, cook too and is on fire for the Lord and has a job and is willing to also care about what my needs are too. So while it may seem really idealistic, at the same time, I think hope is hope.
True. I don't know. Like, I love those kind of movies. I'm one of those people where I don't want to watch no scary movie, no horror film, hardly action. I always want to just throw on a romantic movie. And even if it's not a comedy, just a romantic movie.
What if it's cheesy?
See, okay. I have a confession. I do like those low budget black cheesy.
Blockbusters?
I do, because they be so cheesy. But for some reason, the storyline, it just pulls me in. Or maybe it's because of the romantic feel in it. Not too cheesy. Not very cheesy. I'm not going to say that. Like, not too cheesy. But I will say Black Coffee. Or that came on, like, Centric. Or, you know. I like those kind of movies. Like Black Coffee. What was the other one? It was another, like, black movie on there. But stuff like that. Like, you kind of know what's going to happen. And it's going to be a happy ending. But it's still good, and it has like these phenomenal actors from 10 years ago, and now they're just in like this. Well, no, they just probably couldn't find work, and so they're in this like low budget film. Because in that movie, it was like big time actors from back in the day, but now they're doing like these just random films just to get a job, and I ain't knocking them because they still working, but those kind of films, and I like it. Like, it just gives me hope, and it's just so cute, and I don't know.
I feel like it has to feel somewhat real. Otherwise, I feel like I can't relate to it.
So what about R&B music? I know I just jumped all the way off of TV because I'm always in my feelings. That's what my friends always used to tell me in college. Like, you stay in your feelings. Like, why do you like feeling like this? Because I just...
To me, I feel like R&B music is more relatable because obviously the person who's singing it most likely has been through it. You know what I'm saying?
You can feel that.
You can feel it.
The song.
And if you can actually sing and you can hit those runs, like, you can feel the emotion on every single octave or whatever. When it's a movie, it's like, I don't know who made this. Maybe you just made it because you think it will sound good.
So what do you like better, music or movies?
Music.
And is it more realistic for you when you hear it?
Because I can hear the lyrics. I can hear the words.
Yeah.
I can hear words and lyrics, same thing. I can hear just like if it's pain or the emotion behind it versus a story that could just be pieced together. I don't know.
No, I actually agree. Like, I listen to music more than I watch TV anyway, so.
That's why you know all the lyrics to all the songs.
Yeah, high key. So, yeah, I think music for sure, and you can just feel the lyrics. I love that kind of stuff. Do you think that, like, with loving, like, cheesy movies or R&B music, that it kind of makes you impatient in your weight?
I think sometimes if it's in one of those kind of valley times where I'm like, oh, I wish I were in a relationship, and you hear that song, you're like, oh, wow, like that would be a perfect song for like a date night or something like that. It makes you daydream in a sense. But at the same time, depending on your perspective, it can also make you hopeful that
True.
one day the song will have more meaning than just me listening to it in the radio.
True.
Do you feel like that?
Yes. Well, I'm always in my feelings anyway, so I don't know if my answer is very accurate because I'm always in my
Your
feelings.
whole life is an R&B song?
Yes, it is. And I look through these rose-colored R&B lenses when I'm looking at somebody and swooning, and I want it to be like the song. Just kidding, y'all. But I don't know. So how do you stay hopeful during that time? Like, what are some promises that you cling to? Like, God told you this is going to happen, so how do you
That's a good
remain
question.
faithful?
I would definitely say,
Right?
I will say that even though I sometimes get scared to
Just in case somebody was single out there, what's up?
see, we're
I'm
talking
just
about
kidding.
within our singleness and you're trying to get at it. So I would say it's any kind of verse that just talks about God's promises. Now, I think it's always hard too when we talk about singleness to boldly say, okay, God promised me a husband.
Yeah.
I feel like he gives us desires for a reason, and I would speak it on behalf of us. We both want to be married as a desire. So I would say if that's a desire that we both have, I would like to stand on the promise that he will fulfill that. And so I love the one where it talks about in Isaiah, how his word does not return back void.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, like even though his word doesn't always have this timeline on our time, I know that it will happen. I just can't put a timer on it.
Yeah. I can say the same. And I remember the verse in Psalm 77 where it talks about...
You better quote the book chapter verse.
Where it talks about meditating on the deeds of the Lord and just remembering all the great things that he did and keeping the book of, on your lips day and night. And I just love that stuff because it shows that he's faithful. Like when you try to forget what he's done, you can go back and be like, man, he answered that prayer. So why don't you think he would answer this big prayer over here? Like we're not forgotten. I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. God calls me friend. Come to OCBF with us on Sunday.
What about stories of people who have
Oh
been
my
single?
gosh, I
Does
love
that help you,
stories.
or does it
I'm
make
not
you-
even lying to you. I found this girl on my popular page on Instagram yesterday, and I followed her YouTube and her Instagram, and I watched 4 of her vlogs when she was talking about how she was single, and then she met this dude, and within 10 months they were married, and it was just crazy. Like they got engaged, and then the next day they were like married, and it was just like, talk about intentionality. But that just, it made my heart warm. Like, this is real and God is good and he can do anything at any time and just drop somebody just right there. Like, yeah, I love stories. Because that's realistic. Like, I saw somebody's life be impacted. Not just a movie, but like somebody's actual life.
Yeah. There's definitely hope in that, I would say.
So it seems like, to just kind of sum all of this up, staying busy.
Yeah.
Keeping busy with hobbies.
Yes.
Hanging out with friends. Traveling. And just taking yourself out on a solo date. It's just, that kind of helps in the meantime with waiting. I can say the same for myself.
And I just think I don't know if normalizing is the right word, but I feel like it makes it to where singleness does not have to look so drastically different in terms of just how we see ourselves. Like, I don't want to see myself so drastically as the single person that only does these certain things. And now that I'm in a relationship, now, like you said earlier, now I'll travel abroad. Now I'll start blogging because now I can do it with my, my boyfriend, or we can blog about relationships now. Like, we're talking about relationships right now, and we don't have to be in a relationship.
So the point is, don't wait to live your life. Even though you're single, have fun. It's hard to be single and it's hard to wait, but still, don't let your life pass by, for sure. But yes, guys, that's all we want to talk. We want to have kind of like a girl talk session. I know I've never done a video over singleness. I had one about dating and relationship with purpose, like back in the day, like a few months ago, but I haven't done one with singleness. So I think this was good. I hope y'all liked it. Comment, like, subscribe, share, follow us, follow me, come back. But come back. But thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for coming back on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
Peace out. Deuce.